I don't have an arbitration clause in my contract.
Better get one, boy. Amend your shit. I added that her shit as soon as he.
That's what I'm saying. We don't got that in our contract.
I go with him. All right, man, call a lawyer. She's like, all right, Joe, bye. I'm like, bye.
Melyssa Ford continues to be absent from the Joe Budden podcast, and there's no explanation in sight. Yes, Melyssa Ford has been absent for over 2 weeks now, and it just seems like something is happening more so than what they're letting on. Well, really, they haven't elaborated at all, and somebody alerted me to a clip that I put at the beginning of this video that might give us some insight into what is actively taking place. Now, my theory is that they are currently going through arbitration at the moment, and that's why Joe and Mel are not speaking about what's going on. They're letting the process play out. On episode 758, at about the 3-hour, 7-minute mark on YouTube, Mel says arbitration is written into her contract. Could that be before any type of lawsuit is filed? That's absolutely could be a reason why people are talking about lawsuits. Maybe there's industry rumblings of her thinking about it, but not necessarily pulling the trigger because they're in arbitration. Now, I want to be clear in saying that I got this from one of my commenters on Patreon, D. Terrell, and like he said, the level of silence from Joe and Ian would suggest negotiation is taking place and a possible lawsuit could also happen. Now, let's look at how everything is playing out so far. This current situation with Melyssa Ford seems to have caught the Joe Budden podcast off guard, with Joe and Ian not saying much while trying to control the narrative on Spaces.
Can I just correct one little part of that? You didn't see Mel walk off any show. Last time y'all saw Mel, she did not get up irate, mad, and walk. That didn't happen. Y'all are just nosy.
Yeah, but Mark did allude to I forgot how he framed it, but he said it was a blow up. Yeah. And then she was off the next cut.
No, I didn't.
Mark, all they do is lie.
No, you did, Mark. You said you saw on the balcony it was World War II.
That was a violation.
That's another one that comes from the fans of the addiction question sent her to the moon.
You know what the truth is, Joe? Even if we told them absolutely every single thing they're asking, it still wouldn't be enough. No, because I'm seriously considering giving you guys what you want to hear, and then I'm just replaying in my head. Will it actually suffice? Or
no,
you'll never know.
They've gotten 20 million new narratives over the course of 3 years.
Hey, guys.
They always go right back to, I think there's turmoil up there they're not telling us about.
Then you have Mark Lamont Hill, who is either outright lying or misremembering that he alluded to Melyssa Ford walking off set and seeing World War III on the balcony. So if Mark Lamont is misremembering things, that means that either he's intentionally lying or to cover things up, or he actually just misremembered. He did say that he mimicked somebody walking off set, and the only person that wasn't on set at that time was Melyssa Ford, and he did say World War III was happening on the balcony. On top of that, negotiation, if it were to take place, wouldn't be a one-way street. You get to request things in a negotiation, but you also have to make concessions. Perhaps the World War III situation that happened after the addiction conversation on the balcony led to Melyssa Ford making a request or Joe making a request, and now both parties are waiting to see how things play out. Remember, in a previous episode where Joe and Melyssa Ford spoke and Joe told her, talk to Ian, you can amend your contract.
Melyssa, you could quit this job. You could quit, girl.
And he even insinuated the other option might take place, and it could be all over our YouTube.
You could do what you want to if your contract reflects that. And if you would like to amend it, call Ian after this. Because my middle name this month and the rest of this year is amend or another word I can't say.
The other option is firing. And while we may not be officially confirmed, it feels as if we are headed there fast. And Melyssa Ford's days on the podcast might be numbered. Joe Budden also isn't mentioning Ford. He's not addressing it. Sounds very reminiscent of what he did with Rory and Mal. It's almost like he is trying to gauge the public backlash to her absence and even trying to gauge what the numbers are going to do. Will the numbers go up without Melyssa Ford? Will they go down? Right now, judging from it, it does seem like the numbers are down, trending a little bit, but it's hard to tell because it's recent podcasts. And I'm just saying, like, they lost Rory and Mal, so I think they could lose Melyssa Ford. Joe Budden is envisioning a Melyssa Ford-less podcast moving forward. Now, Melyssa Ford, if she does come back, she's become the odd woman out. And seems to have fallen out with everybody on the show, with people like Parks saying she's a liar, Corey saying she's a liar, Mark Lamont Hill saying she's a liar, Ish and Ice seem distraught with her acting on set. It could be like, she's just a woman on set, and a room full of testosterone has a hard time making space for women. Now, when she does come back, she's going to come back to an environment where she may have to speak more, because that seems to be one of the things that Joe Budden has issues with, and may suffer consequences for her outbursts. Melyssa Ford has walked off the podcast several times. Like, this isn't just the first time she's done it. So I think Joe Budden, Ian, and the leadership at the Joe Budden Network is now trying to ensure that these outbursts are more controlled, and Melyssa Ford is trying to come to grips with the fact that she has lost leverage. The show must go on, and the audience is getting used to Melyssa Ford not being around. And at some point, we're going to get some type of commentary. And there's a lot of folks running with the theory that she's filming a movie. If she was filming a movie, they would just say it, right? I think it's utter stupidity that people think that she's filming a movie with. Somebody said Kevin Spacey. Kevin Spacey head could get chopped off. He's not going to be doing a movie with Melyssa Ford. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know what you guys are smoking. You need to go to rehab or something if you believe that. It's just stupidity. They would just say, yo, salute to our sister Melyssa Ford. She's filming a movie. They haven't said that, so she isn't filming a movie. Also, her podcast, I believe it records in batches. It's dropping shows, and it's not something that she left for. She's either taking a mental health break, negotiating, or her time is done, and she realizes that there's no going back. But let me know what you think in the comments. I feel like the conversation on episode 758 is very enlightening. That's about 11 months ago, which is around almost a year to the date of that recording. And you know that a year may be how the Joe Budden podcast structures their contract. 1 year under set of circumstances, and then we revisit it later on. With that said, follow me on Instagram, The Stop TV. Follow me on Twitter, The Stop TV. We have way more Melyssa Ford coverage on the Patreon channel that I oversee. We did a space where the possibility of a lawsuit is broken down. And we also did a podcast where we talk about the Melyssa Ford situation. Yeah, man, I think we're getting there. Melyssa Ford has been thrown overboard. I could be wrong. I'm open to being wrong. You know, this is a channel that engages in speculation. We're just trying to do the science and see what's going on. This is Danny from The Stop. Peace.